Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Gamble the Clown, and welcome to episode number 19 of the Suburban Sideshow Podcast. Yes, thank you. We are here, the first major episode of Suburban Sideshow Podcast in 2025. So, what we are going to do today is talk about as I'm looking at my screen here, we have 16 rules of what we consider to be clown etiquette. This is stuff that I've learned in clown college, and as I see a lot of clowns on the social medias, it's very important for me to do an episode going back to the basics. I am what you consider a traditionalist. I really enjoy clowning around and entertaining, but there is an element where we are considered to be professional clowns. We are not cosplay. We are not putting on a Halloween costume. We are a clown and a clown character. Now the list of the 16 clown uh, etiquette points I've listed here, wherever you are watching this, just as a reminder and to keep track of where we are. So it's very important for us to consider the clown etiquette, delivering a high quality show and making sure that we are prepared beforehand. So, number one on the list is allow ample time to apply your makeup and to start thinking about your clown character. Mentally become the character you represent as a clown. We see a big disconnect in a lot of characters, a lot of clown characters and a lot of entertainers, because what you say and what you do has to match the clown character. So on my notes here, I put being a clown is a lot different than dressing up as a clown. Your character has to come from your personality. My act comes out of my personality and character. So my entire clown character is I'm a comedian, and a lot of my act, most and all of my act comes out of the fact that I have a certain edge, that I'm a clown that got kicked out of the circus and I'm trying to make my way, and I'm rag on and joke about a lot of other entertainment genres such as stand-up comedy, being a stand-up comedy comedian as well. Also, if you're going to make it in any vocation, especially one as an entertainer, you have to know yourself and put together a plan on what you say. So, for those of you who don't understand how comedy works, comedy writing, I'm also going to do an episode on that as well, or I think I may have, where I talk about how jokes are written, how you write your material. So, in a basic sense, you have a premise at the top, and the premise is the subject or whatever you're going to cover. Then you have a setup and then a punchline. So, a stupid joke that I like to say is that my I learned how to be a clown from my dad. I have big shoes to fill. So we have a premise, we have learning how to be a clown from my dad, and the punchline, which, if crafted properly, leaves the audience a surprise at the end, a surprise twist ending. We call that absurdity. For example, if you are an old man on a skateboard and you fall down, that's very funny. But if you are a 15-year-old kid and you fall down on a skateboard, nobody really cares, and we hope you land the trick the next time. So we have what is considered in humor and absurdity. So something that is funny and builds off of the premise and the setup for a punchline. So the reason I say all of that is that if you are a clown and going to be funny, don't be, cheesy. You can't have a lot of hack stuff. You've got to be original, and write a lot of your stuff that conforms to your character. So, I mean, I could write a lot of inappropriate jokes about inappropriate topics, but it's not going to make any sense because my entire character is clean. Your words and actions have to have congruence. This means they must match and complement each other. So if I'm doing a whole lot of weird clown stuff and it doesn't really match, it's not going to be a great show. It's not going to be a great act, and people are going to be very confused. So, number one, allow ample time to apply your makeup and to start thinking about your clown character. Mentally become the character you represent as a clown. I'm going to talk a little bit about more about this as we go through the list here. Now, keep in mind this list is not exactly in any particular order, just a lot of things to think about before you do a show because you have to put a lot of time and energy and practice into what you are doing, which is why I spend more time doing this than consuming social media. Okay, number two, always stay in clown character when clowning in public. Always stay in clown character when clowning in public. Again, going back to number one, where your clown character has to be congruent or in alignment with your act. This you have to think about on a continual basis. So after you get done with an act, usually I hurry up and change and move out of the area, or I stay in clown character doing multiple things. Like, so for example, if there are events that I go to, like for example at breweries and different stuff like that, I will stay in my clown character as I'm packing up, as I'm getting ready to go, and then walk around still in clown character, joking around with whoever happens to be there, handing out my business cards and entertaining people if there's tables or picnic tables or in chairs or whatever the event may be. I always stay in clown character. And this is a very important point that is consistent with my character. I don't always need a clown face to define my clown character. There are a lot of clowns that spend a lot of time on their appearance, but the act is amateurish at best and boring. So if you are a clown that is just for social media, you are not going to engage any audience. Then, to me, being a traditionalist, that sort of is the antithesis of what we were supposed to be doing in the first place. Also, you have to put the time in to develop your character and I spend a lot of time in character dealing with various situations and issues. For example, I show up to the comedy club as an audience member in my clown character. In fact, I don't think any of my friends at the local comedy club, Idiot Box Comedy Club in Greensboro, have ever seen me outside of my clown character because I am a clown. It's not something I dress up to do just to entertain people and make money. I am a genuine 100% clown all the time. And all of my friends and the people I work with and my day job will tell you that yes, I am a clown all the time. So, building off of the first point is, making sure that you develop a solid clown character, something that relates to your personality traits, what you are good at, and making sure that there is consistency with your performance, your act, and your clown character that you show to your audience. Number three, practice your skits, routines, pantomime, and use of props. One of the best resources that I can recommend to you regarding practice, actually, two resources I recommend to you regarding practice is a book called The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell and The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Two amazing resources that you have to keep in the back of your mind that if you are an entertainer, if you are somebody who's working to perfect anything, whether you are a musician, a magician, or a speaker or anything of any kind that you are wanting to do, or even a plumber or an electrician, is that this book, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks about the 10,000 hour rule. The basic premise is that if you spend 10,000 hours doing something, practicing something, you're going to get better and eventually master that task. So if you are a plumber, that's why you have apprenticeships and all these different levels of certification. You apprentice, journeyman, and master plumbers, electricians, and in the trades. They do a really good job at putting this out there because this rule works. So, for example, um, I spent a lot of time writing. I spent a lot of time performing. Not so much time here on social media, but I spent a lot of time thinking about my act and performing my act, as you will see later how I do it. The second resource that I mentioned is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. He's an author, and he wrote this book because he was trying to figure out how to get unstuck, how to conquer the blank page on your computer screen or your typewriter. And his method is just writing complete nonsense. So his methodology is you look at a blank page, a blank screen, and you just start writing. You are moving the ball forward. So that is the basic premise of that book as well. Two amazing books, The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell and The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Practice, practice, practice your skits, routines, pantomime, and use of props. The amount of time that you put into your practice gives you a higher level of comfortability and a higher level of being fluid and rolling with your audience. So that was number three, practice. Number four, never use bad language, smoke, drink alcoholic beverages, or advertise these products. We have to reach a very wide audience as clowns. There are a lot of people that hate clowns, and our reach is limited just by putting on our clown makeup and wardrobe. So we have to sort of try to level the playing field by making sure that all of our outward actions are appropriate and reach a diverse and wide audience. That's not to say that I have been entertained by clowns that are vulgar and inappropriate. They have a particular area that they operate in, and that's perfectly fine. But if you are looking to expand and to grow and develop your clown character, I always recommend a totally clean act. And getting back to what I said earlier about always being in your clown character, that's why that is important. That applies because you have to have congruence. You have to have agreement. You have to have alignment between your clown character and your clown act. Number five, always be on time for any activity for which you are clowning. The main reason why I feel that I am a traditionalist, well, because I grew up around clowns who were, but ultimately because I came from also went to the military. So the military world does a really great job at instilling discipline and making sure that you are operating on the highest level of all times. And it's important that you should always be on time for any activity for which you are clowning. Number five. So one time, when I was a Marine, I was late once, and I was never late again for anything in my entire life because that experience was so traumatic. And even though we weren't engaged in any combat or any dangerous situations, it's very important to consider at that time that me being late could have cost someone their life. In the same way, if you are going to operate as an entertainer at the highest level, always be on time. always be reliable and dependable, even if your act is completely bogus. At least you can be dependable and reliable. Number six, always be considerate of others and in full control of yourself. So it's very important for us to understand that we are clowns. When we dress up as a clown, every eye, wherever we are at, is going to be drawn toward us. So, as we are to consider the alignment of our behavior and our clown character, it's very important for us to consider others. So, for me, I get a lot of hecklers because I do comedy routines. And it's very important to understand that hecklers are heckling because they want to be part of the show. So instead of just destroying them right away, I invite them to do so and make everybody laugh at them. So this ties into our next point in always being considerate of others and in full control of yourself. Number seven, the next point, make others feel good. Let's consider making a connection to those around us. Oftentimes, I deal with a lot of people who are afraid of clowns. That is fine if you are afraid of clowns. That is perfectly fine. All you are doing is helping me limit the number of people that I have to entertain. So, the people that are afraid of clowns are so because they've had a bad experience with them in the past. Maybe they ran into somebody dressed as a horror movie clown, somebody else's character, which is a complete hack, and you are what I consider to be an entertainment thief dressing up as, for example, Pennywise or something. Get your own clown character. Uh, so that's what I have to say on that. But it's very important to others. It's very important to us as clowns that we deliver a really great show and we make others feel good. We are here to instill joy. I've clowned around in hospitals, children's hospitals, children who are essentially at the brink of death, clowning around for children and families who are really having trouble and struggling with finances because their children have health issues that requires them to travel a lot to hospitals. So it's very important for us to understand the entire role of a clown. Going back to what I've said before, about making sure that our clown character and wardrobe and our act all go together in complete congruence. We are there to number seven, make others feel good. Number eight, demonstrate good sportsmanship. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out because I see a lot of clowns that just really are not very good. Will I confront every single one of them and have some online beef with all of them? No. What I want to do is use my years, I've been doing this since I was 12, use my years of uh, clown experience in order to help those who want to listen. Again, just like people who are afraid of clowns, you can't entertain them. And just like clowns who are afraid of growth and development and figuring out how to do their act and entertain people, they're not going to listen. So, it's very important that we as clowns, you are not the only clown, you are not the only entertainer in the world, so we have to demonstrate good sportsmanship. I follow a lot of clowns on social media and it is amazing to me to see the different styles they have and their different acts and be a sense of encouragement to those clowns who want to listen. So, not only does it limit us to does it limit me, for example, to being a good sportsman to other clowns, demonstrating good sportsmanship to other clowns and magicians and entertainers, but I demonstrate good sportsmanship to all those around me. When I am considerate of others and demonstrate a high level of self control, making others feel good, number seven, and number eight, demonstrating good sportsmanship. It takes my act to a deeper level. Number 9, be understanding and back off from someone who doesn't wish to be approached by a clown. A lot of people come from the military or the prison world have an issue with something that can set them off. You're a social media influencer walking around trying to shove your camera into someone's face, demanding they react to something so you can get content at their expense. They're going to have an issue with it. And some of them may even punch you in the face. In the same way, a lot of people don't like clowns. And as a clown, I'm cool with that. The word is coulrophobia, Colophobia, coulrophobia, which means fear of clowns. And in my stand up and comedy act, I have a lot of jokes about it. So it's very important for us to consider that as clowns, people are not going to like us. And you have to be okay with that. Everyone is not going to be your friend. In fact, a lot of people, once they know you are a clown, may not want to be friends with you anymore.
Oh.
May sound like a bummer, but there are plenty of people to entertain and want to be entertained by you. So it's very important for us to consider that the clown character in of itself is triggering. So we don't want to go pursue people, chase people, harass people, or give people a negative view of this art form. Number 9, be understanding and back off from someone who doesn't wish to be approached by a clown. We are now on to number 10. Be at children's eye level when talking to them. Children are taught, as they should be very cautious of adults. And if you are a clown, you are a even scarier adult. So it's very important for us to consider that when you talk to children, I get compliments on this every time. And sometimes I'm doing this subconsciously, is that when I bend down to talk to a child, it puts them and the parents at ease. And a lot of parents will tell me, hey, he's very good. He gets down to talk to children at their level. And that's what we should be doing. Like me, I'm there to entertain everybody, children and adults, ages 0 to 1,000. So it's very important for us to consider that when we are dealing with people, we should get down to their eye level. And this is a problem that we have with mascots as well. They walk around and don't say anything. They can't bend down, talk, or put anybody at ease. So when you see a giant beaver or a giant something walking around, a giant bear or something, it is very frightening. No matter how uh, controlled you want to be, or how uh, much you want to lessen that threat. So it's very important, number 10, to be at children's eye level when talking to them. Actually, be at everyone's eye level when talking to them. Like, extend that out. Number 11, for safety reasons, never throw candy or other items into a crowd. Pass candy or other items directly to individuals. Now, all of these tips, all I consider to be mutually inclusive because like we are supposed to be having a consistent character with our wardrobe, with our act, everything we do should spill out of the larger umbrella of us being able to deliver a quality show, making others feel good, being considerate of others, not invading people's personal space, and ultimately working to connect with others individually. So if you are throwing candy into a crowd, that's a little silly to me. Most people do this stuff on parades, but it's really not good because I'd rather just hand people. candy and I put my business cards with the candy and talk to them, I talk to each person at my events just like I have just come there to see them. I want them to think that I showed up just to see them and it is a privilege and an honor to speak to them. So I don't do anything where I massively do things to crowds. I like to connect to people individually. Number 12. This is a parade. Uh, this is referencing a parade. It just says to avoid getting overheated in a parade, slow down and sit on the curb if necessary, and have someone meet you at the end of the parade with transportation and a refreshing drink. So we have to be very careful to plan out our events, just like making sure that our act and our clown character and wardrobe all fit together. Who would want to see a clown having a heat stroke on the side of the road or having a heat stroke at your event? Make sure that you are properly prepared and you have resources to help you out if you need it. This is to say that we should be on point at all times. Number number 12, avoid getting overheated in a parade. Slow down and sit on the curb if necessary, and have someone meet you at the end of the parade with with transportation and a refreshing drink. Ultimately, we have to plan ahead for our events. 13, 14, and 15 are basically the physical aspects of us being a clown. Number 13, take care of yourself. Be in good physical and mental condition. Body language is important. As a clown, we are to be expressive and theatrical, hence the exaggerated costume and makeup. For those of you who have never been to a clown college or any sort of acting school, the clown character is exaggerated. And that is why it puts many people at the offense, is because, or at the defense, is because we are so over the top. We are exaggerated. We are called to exaggerate regular life, and that could be traumatic for some people who are not prepared to deal with it. So, body language is very important. Like I said, maintaining eye contact, making sure that your act and all of your behavior are consistent with your clown character. We have to make sure that we are in good physical and mental condition. Maintaining a good mental condition is important because as a clown, we are called to go where there is sadness. We're called to go where people are having a difficult time. So we have to make sure that we don't get sucked in to that problem as well. So there are a lot of people, most people, I would say, have some sort of problem dealing with the world around us. I myself, admittedly, do sometimes. Sometimes I get a little angry. Sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I get sad. But as a clown, it's very important for us to understand that our job is a difficult job. We are the firefighters running into the burning building. We are the police officers who are there handling different situations, and we have to go home at the end of the day. And throughout that day, you are going to experience a lot of things that are going to drag you down mentally, which is why you have to be prepared both mentally and physically for all of the challenges that you will face as a clown. Number 14, number 13, take care of yourself, be in good physical and mental condition. Number 14, be neat, clean, and well groomed. If you are a clown with a beard, make sure it is trimmed. Make sure that your fingernails and everything look good and you present a professional appearance. Make sure that you're not wearing the same clothes underneath that you wore all week long or show up with a dirty costume, which is number 15. Have an appealing costume that is neat and clean. Like I said, our body language is very important. As clowns, we have an exaggerated body language, And all of this stuff that I've mentioned today is mutually inclusive. We should be making sure that our act and our appearance are all consistent. So, with that, you wouldn't buy a Ferrari just in pieces that just got wrecked. It's totaled. It's essentially worthless, which is why insurance companies won't fix it. In the same way, you are to value yourself as an entertainer with a high value, and you don't bring high valued items to the market and sell them for cheap, and you don't bring cheap items to the market and sell them for a high price. Sailor Jerry, world famous tattoo artist, said, "Good tattoos aren't cheap, and cheap tattoos aren't good." We should have this in our mind as we prepare our acts and our performance to deliver a high quality show to our audience. Number 15, I put this kind of I mean, number 16, I kind of put this off to the side because sometimes I don't do this, but as a traditional rule of thumb, wear white gloves and carry an extra pair just in case. I grew up from the school of clowning that taught that showing skin or anything like that, uh, was a violation of the unwritten rules of comedy or the unwritten rules of clowning. But since then, a lot of clowns have developed. I started off as an Auguste clown, and there is the light Auguste, which allows for showing some skin. And sometimes I wear gloves, sometimes I don't. But as a general rule, starting off, I would. Uh, I can't really think of a logical reason to do that other than that's sort of an addition, a cherry on the top, if you will, to a clown costume. But in any event, I will leave that up to you. Now, to just review all 16 points. Number one, allow ample time to apply your makeup and to start thinking about your clown character. Mentally become the clown character you represent as a clown. Number two, always stay in clown character when clowning in public. Number three, practice. Perfect your skits, routines, pantomime, and use of props. Four, never use bad language, smoke, drink alcoholic beverages, or advertise these products. Number five, always be on time for any activity for which you are clowning. Number six, always be considerate of others and in full control of yourself. Number seven, make others feel good. Number eight, demonstrate good sportsmanship. Number nine, be understanding and back off from someone who doesn't wish to be approached by a clown. Number 10, be at children's eye level when talking to them. Number 11, for safety reasons, never throw candy or other items into a crowd. Pass candy or other items directly to individuals. Number 2, to avoid getting overheated in a parade, slow down and sit on the curb if necessary. And have someone meet you at the end of the parade with transportation and refreshing drink. Number 13, take care of yourself. Be in good physical and mental condition. Number 14, be neat, clean, and well groomed. Number 15, have an appealing costume that is neat and clean. Number 16, wear white gloves and carry an extra pair just in case. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to this today. Hopefully, this has been a help to you, an encouragement to you if you are thinking about becoming a clown, if you are a clown, or if you are in the entertainment industry. A lot of very good and important points to consider to deliver a high quality show and raise your level of value and raise your level of marketability as well. Please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok. If you are having an event, please contact me today. If you have any questions about clowning around, I have a vast amount of years of experience. I would love to encourage you and bless you with that great knowledge. Until next time, I am Gamble the Clown. This is the Suburban Sideshow Podcast number 19. clown etiquette.